When you're staring at a list of gaming laptops and the specs start looking like a codebreaker, it's natural to wonder if you're about to waste money on something that sounds impressive but won't really fit your daily routine. That hesitation is why I'm spending a few minutes breaking down the Acer Predator Helios Neo 14, not by reading a spec sheet, but by looking at how those numbers translate into everyday use, what kind of gamer will get the most out of it, and where the price starts to feel thin. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the Helios Neo is a 14.5-inch machine that tries to squeeze a desktop-level experience into a portable chassis. The headline features an Intel Core Ultra 9, an RTX 4070, 16GB of LPDDR5X RAM and a 1TB Gen 4 SSD, all solid on paper. What matters, though, is how these pieces work together when you fire up a game, edit a video, or just hop on a Zoom call between raids. In my testing, the laptop feels most at home when you're shifting between demanding titles and lighter tasks without needing to reboot or close apps. That fluidity is the main selling point, especially for people who travel a lot but still want a machine that can hold its own in competitive play. If you're a casual gamer who only dips into titles like Fortnite or Minecraft a few evenings a week, the Helios Neo might feel a bit over-engineered. The RTX 4070 is designed for 1440 plus performance, and you'll rarely tap its full potential unless you're consistently playing newer AAA releases at high settings. For those users, a mid-range GPU would likely shave a few $100s off the price tag without noticeable loss in the games you actually play. On the flip side, if you're chasing high frame rates in titles like Valorant, Counter-Strike 2, or Cyberpunk 2077 at 165Hz, the combination of a fast 165Hz IPS panel and the AI-enhanced graphics pipeline can give you a tangible edge. The AI-powered graphics mode attempts to upscale lower-resolution frames in real time, which can smooth out visual fidelity when you're pushing the RTX 4070 hard. One of the most practical strengths I noticed is the storage setup. The 1TB Gen 4 SSD is fast enough that loading times feel almost instantaneous, even for massive open-world games. I timed the initial launch of Elden Ring and it came up in under 8 seconds, which is a noticeable improvement over older SATA-based drives. The SSD also means the laptop boots in under 10 seconds, so you can jump from a coffee shop to a gaming session without a long wait. However, the drive is a single slot, and while 1TB is generous for most users, power users who keep large libraries of 4K video assets or multiple game installs might eventually need an external solution. That's a hidden trade-off worth planning for. The AI-focused features like the Copilot in Windows Assistant are interesting, but they're more a nice-to-have than a necessity. The assistant can suggest performance tweaks on the fly, for example shifting power limits when you're on battery versus plugged in. In practice, I found it useful once or twice when the laptop was throttling during a long marathon session, but it wasn't a game changer. If you're comfortable tweaking settings manually, you can ignore it without losing anything critical. Thermals are often the Achilles heel of thin gaming laptops, and the Helios Neo does a decent job for its size. Under a sustained 30-minute gaming load, the CPU hovered around 85°C while the GPU peaked near 88°C. The fan curve ramps up loudly, which is something you'll notice if you're trying to game in a quiet environment like a shared apartment. The heat does manage to keep the chassis warm, but it never feels scorching to the touch, a small comfort when you're resting your palms on the keyboard. If you need whisper-quiet operation, you'll probably have to accept a bit of performance scaling or look at larger laptops with more massive cooling solutions. Battery life is another real-world factor that often gets glossed over in marketing videos. The Helios Neo packs a 71 Wh battery, which sounds solid, but under gaming load it drops to roughly 2 hours of playtime. If you're planning to game away from a power outlet for extended periods, that's a limitation. On the other hand, the battery stretches to around 6 to 7 hours when you're just browsing, streaming, or doing office work, so the laptop still serves well as an all-day productivity device. The takeaway here is to treat it as a plug-in-first machine if gaming is a primary use case. Now, who should actually buy this laptop? If you're a competitive gamer who travels to LAN parties, streams on the side, and wants a portable rig that can handle 1440p higher refresh rate titles without sacrificing visual quality, the Helios Neo hits a sweet spot. The combination of a compact 14.5-inch frame, a fast SSD, and a powerful GPU means you can carry your gaming library and your streaming setup in a backpack. It's also a good fit for creative professionals who need GPU acceleration for editing or 3D work but still want a device